Hey guys, it's Barb with Inspire Me 360. In this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about a live reel that I was actually watching, and it was Deepak Chopra, and he was talking about sort of the untethering or loosening of the personal identity, and in a nutshell was saying that he couldn't find who Deepak Chopra was, and essentially that part of the aging process and part of the spiritual seeking process was essentially losing this identity with the self and becoming sort of part of that cosmic oneness. And now, it's not that I specifically disagree with this standpoint, but I think sometimes that's only a small part of the journey of earthbound living, earthbound incarnations, and really this understanding of who and what we are as a soul. So I felt empowered to come on and make a little bit of a video about this. I was actually on the treadmill and, thinking about it, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna jump on here and make a quick video while it's sort of top of mind. So again, there's a lot of spiritual teachers that have this way of teaching that there is something valiant about total detachment from the personal identity or the self that one has created while they are in an earthly incarnation. And yes, I think it's important to have a certain level of detachment, but I want to explain why the detachment is proactive and why attachment is also necessary. So first we'll start off with the detachment. So from an awareness perspective, from a consciousness perspective, being able to see oneself in all others as part of the collective, as that drop in the ocean, and essentially being one with all, is an element of, I suppose, detachment that is useful because it correlates directly with this idea or this energy of unconditional love. And I'll tell you why. Because essentially, if we can see all others as we see the self, then especially if we cultivate a certain awareness of self-love, and the higher our awareness of self-love, then therefore we're also going to see that love reflected in all other things, okay? And again, we can project that love or embody that love and be giving that unconditional love to the collective. Now, in terms of detachment, I feel that a lot of, again, human consciousness may get this a little bit incorrect because we know, or we have an awareness as a sentient being, that our body, the container that our soul is in, is going to die. And because we associate so heavily with this body vehicle, that we feel that to gracefully enter into the later stages of our life and this eventual death of the body, we need to detach from our attachment to it, and therefore have sort of this detachment style spirituality, so that we are pushing away our awareness of a self. But I'm here to offer a different perspective. I don't think that is the correct focus that one should have. I think it should be more, and I would like to teach it a little bit more directly, that we need to maybe detach from the body. And okay, if we're going back to this lecture that Deepak Chopra was giving, maybe the body, the personal I have a body, my name is Barbara, maybe detaching from that physical vehicle could offer some, peace of mind in terms of the fact that this body at some point will be laid aside. But if we can commune with our soul, that is the true essence of what we are. And if we can understand that we are so much more than this body, that the soul, the essence of what we are, we don't need to detach from it. It is universal. It is static. Its beautiful emanation is always going to be. So then what is the real point of detaching from the body? The way that I understand it, the way it's been taught to me, is in an incarnation, in a body, we get to experience the beauty of life. And it is visceral, and it is real, and it is a learning tool. And there is nothing wrong with feeling everything that one is meant to feel in a body. And as an exercise, we can detach ourselves, but it shouldn't become our predominant mental state while we are in an incarnation. We will have enough detachment from the body when we enter into the non-physical. So heavily focusing on detachment when you are in physical form is a little bit counterintuitive. You'll get there eventually at the end of this incarnation. So having that awareness of self, of identity, of the body is actually quite healthy. And, going into the state of complete and utter meditation and separation from the body, though again it can be useful for calming the mind and creating mindfulness, it shouldn't be the state, especially in an incarnation, that one is continually seeking, because of course we are here in a body, we are here to utilize the body, and we are here to experience through this three-dimensional reality, to live, to love, to experience our five senses. So now, in terms of, again, what Deepak Chopra was saying in terms of our eternal nature, very much I agree with that. He was talking about, the different compounds in our bodies, the different molecules, how there's so much of what we are that was in existence, from the instant of the Big Bang, and that there's so much of what is in our actual bodies that, again, is eternal. It is the stuff of the stars. We are made of stardust. I love that analogy, and it's very beautiful, it's very spiritual, it's very universal. And we were talking about the layers of existence, obviously atomic, the atomic nature of our bodies, and the subatomic nature of our bodies, that which is energy. Okay, now as a continuation of this, Deepak was going into the fact that our bodies regenerate, and we are essentially a new version of us so often, and that we have really died 1,000 deaths already if we look at our cellular structure in this lifetime. And that is, again, one perspective. But as we are growing as a soul, and yes, that is a very important point to look at, the fact that the physical body is continually changing and you are not your body, because again, as the body is continually in this regenerative process, of course you're getting this essentially new body every so often. So how can what you are be the body? He was going into, again, the information stored in our DNA, and how we have this blueprint of essentially what our bodies are supposed to look like and how they are going to construct themselves. And I would also suggest, and in terms of the channeling I have done and the knowingness that I have, that we also have a soul blueprint. So this is this energetic aspect of what each and every one of us uniquely is, that again is carrying what we are throughout the physical and the non-physical. So what is the true take home of the message that I'm making? It's that I think we don't have to worry so much about what our spiritual journey is about. I don't think that we have to try so very hard to figure out what advice we need to take or specific mantras or prayers, or what exactly that spiritual book is, or whatever new age movement is on the horizon this particular month. The core message is, do what feels emotionally right to you. And by emotionally right, I mean what raises your vibration or your experience of the joy of living to its highest pinnacle. And whatever that is the most beautiful manifestation of your learning, of your beingness, of your light. So when we are calling forth the light, when we are communing essentially with the divine, that point, that highest level that can be achieved is the bliss, the joy, the interconnection that we get to feel in a human form with others, the really visceral experience of having a life, and that relaxation of the fear of any incarnation. So the fear of there being an end to what you are. There is no end. You are both non-physical energy and a physical configuration of a thing right now in space-time. So you are both things simultaneously. And when this particular body ends, the energy that you are, that awareness that you are, will continue on and will certainly reconfigure itself at some point into another physical state. And through that next physical state, there'll be more learning and more experience. And also, it's not just about learning. It's not just about seeking and absorbing and transformation. It's also just about having a darn good time. It's about the beauty of what life is and what creation is. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Hopefully you are having a beautiful Friday night, and we will see you in the next video.